2009-0411, Parish President remarks and report. Mr. St. Pierre.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Last 2 weeks ago, you probably read in the paper where there was a miscommunication between the South Louisiana Port Commission and us about the port buying the Taft-Trish property. Because of that misunderstanding, we have now developed a monthly meeting with the South Louisiana Port Commission, with all the parish presidents to meet once a month in the port to discuss what kind of projects they're going to do in our parish. You know, I certainly feel, and I'm sure y'all do too, that before any kind of business comes in our parish, we'll have an opportunity to have some discussion with them. So due to that effort, we are going to meet once a month. Last week there was the River Parish Social and Industrial Hand at the Shriners. It was a well-attended event. I encourage you all to start and attend these things. It's a good tool to network with businesses surrounding in the river parishes. Terry Entremont, Mr. Shelley Toste, and myself attended an Army Corps of Engineer breakfast in New Orleans last week on a briefing of the ecosystem and the coastal restoration. Although they're still concerned about levee protection, they are now looking at 5 diversion projects from Old River to the mouth of the Mississippi River. Congratulations to Brent Terrebonne of the St. Charles Parish Civil Service Board, who received the Layman's Award on last Friday. This award is presented annually to the Louisiana Civil Service League to individuals outside the classified civil service system who had made major contributions to the advancement of the merit system of public employment in Louisiana. We certainly want to extend our appreciation to Mr. Terrebonne. I would like to also invite all the veterans. We will be hosting a Veterans Day luncheon on November the 10th, beginning at 10:30. The luncheon will be held at the Jerusalem Shriners Temple in Destrehan. If you'd like to come, please RSVP 783-5000. I visited my staff at the St. Rose Community Center for a Freeze Pop Friday. The center coordinator Kevin Wilkinson and his assistant Mrs. Judy Lee regularly coordinate fun activities like arts, craft, and reading to enrich the lives of the youth in the area. There was probably about maybe 15 kids when I got there. We also played the Wiggle the Nose, as a little game that pretty fun. Enjoyed passing out freeze pops to all the children who shared in the event. And Renee, I'll take some of my pictures in front of me. I'm tired of seeing that bald head behind me. Okay. I also visit with the, Mario made a presentation last week on the youth crew. I went to the orientation. I was offered words of encouragement to motivate them, to take the opportunity to offer them through the crew program. And when I got there, they were discussing the proper way to conduct yourself at the interview, and it was pretty eye-opening. I'd like to thank everyone who came out to the dedication of the ferry disaster memorial this weekend. Beautiful weather, was well attended, and this memorial was put together largely due to the efforts of Councilman Larry Cochran and designed by Paul Hogan. It was really a nice event. The memorial is really beautiful. I encourage all the citizens of the parish, if you haven't seen it, to stop by. In fact, I stopped by Paul last night and looked at it. It was lit up, and all those plaques that we have, they all show up as like a copper color. It was really impressive, so I encourage everybody to stop and see it. I'd like to thank the 5% of the people who came out for the millage renewal this weekend. As you know, we only had 5%, but it did pass. The millage renewal was for the fire, hospital, and the roads. And the Taft Water Tower has been repainted by the Utility Services Incorporated and is currently in service. The parish new logo, first time I see it, the parish new logo has been added facing both north and south along Highway 3142. Utility Services is also completing the repairs of our St. Rose water tower. It will be put back in service in the next few weeks after it has been rechlorinated. Both of these towers and the ground storage tanks on the east banks are being refurbished by Utility Services under maintenance contract, which spreads the cost of the repairs over several years, softening the impact of the Waterworks Department budget. Robbie, is Robbie here? We won't be able to put the logo on that one, huh?
Charles St. Rose,
Because it-
pattern for FAA.
Yeah, because of the aviation tower has got to be painted a certain color. After numerous delays the second Mississippi River crossing has been installed. It has passed the pressure and leakage test and is online with chlorinated this past weekend. Expected to be fully operational as early as next Friday. This Wednesday we are going to Washington. We have a Washington trip planned to meet with all our congressional delegation. We have members from FEMA, the Corps of Engineers, and we also are notified today that the top-ranking civilian on President Obama's staff concerning the Corps of Engineers will be in attendance. It's going to be a social gathering at a little hall that we rented, and we plan on having just like an informal presentation, and our presentation is going to be surrounding around St. Charles Parish, a gym that should be protected. Also, if you notice on the levee today on the west bank of the river, they started grading the top of the levee for the bike path and the overlook by the bridge, and this should be completed within the next 30 days. And that concludes my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. St. Pierre. Did you also mention that on that trip that we did have a lot of local industry representatives
Oh,
as
yeah,
well?
we have like 14 local industrial plants going to be coming, and the theme of it is if St. Charles Parish was to be devastated by a hurricane, what impact with all these industries shutting down having not only Louisiana, but on the rest of the country. And each one of these plants is going to have like a little easel set up around the hall, and they're going to be able to talk to these congressmen and senators one-on-one to give them the overview of why we need hurricane protection.
Great idea.